What is going on, Governors? Chisgule here, and this morning we're going to be getting a look at another Ark of Osiris battle. That's right, we have been invited to yet another Ark of Osiris. We're going to live stream it, and I'm super pumped about that. If you like Ark of Osiris, you should definitely like and subscribe because we really enjoy covering the heck out of that, and you can get really darn good at Ark of Osiris by watching a lot of strategy guides. So, with that said, we're going to switch on over to the kingdom where we are going to be observing. I believe this is the right one, 175. Bunch of folks joining into the chat. Mikael, Anjing, Pratik, Cryptic Gamer, Laginator, what's going on? Oh man. Okay. So we have swapped over. The Ark of Osiris battle starts in 2 minutes. And we are with Hail the Cats, IMT. Their alliance has 585 million power, and in today's Ark of Osiris battle, well, I don't actually know how much power they're bringing to the fight. Just to give a sense of the power level of the alliance members, we can just get a quick look at their alliance list. Looks like their highest powered player might be about 26 million. And so we're looking at mostly tier 3 in this lineup. So hopefully the matchup is fairly even here and we get a really good show. I believe that it's a 9 million power difference, roughly. Oh, okay. I'm being told it's 209 million power versus 217 million power. So this is actually a relatively even match. For those just joining, we're going to be streaming Ark of Osiris. We're in Kingdom 175. 175, just to get a lay of the land in 175 while we're here. Why not? Uh-oh. Looks like my screen is frozen. Well, that's awkward. Sure. Let's just fire that back up again. Let's just fire that back up again. All right. And here we are. We're back. Thanks for freezing, game. Ark of Osiris starts in 1 minute. I'm incredibly pumped to be streaming this. And we've got a solid audience joining in to watch, up to 73 people. It's early in the morning where I am, so hopefully it's a reasonable hour where you are. It hasn't started yet. Dizzy Dwarf, you have not missed it. Ark is starting in a solid 30 seconds. And I'm told, by the way, that IMT has only got 29 players instead of the full 30, so that's going to be kind of interesting. That is going to be kind of interesting. Cryptic Gamer, it's 9 p.m. where you are? Wow. All right. Different side of the world, I suppose. Different side of the world. 10 seconds until this thing fires up. I'm super pumped. Dizzy Dwarf asking when my Ark video is going to be up. It is as of yesterday. We streamed it. It was a lot of fun. And we're entering into the battle. Here we go. We are the blue side. A lot of folks porting in. Looking pretty good. Hopefully this will fill out a good bit more. And to answer a few questions while we wait. Oh, it's evening in India. Wow. That's pretty nuts, Rawat. Laginator is saying there's 17 million players not able to come. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Gram is saying it's 8 a.m. where he is. Wakadi is saying 6 p.m. where he is. Sug is 2 p.m. All right, so folks are all over the world. Pretty solid turnout here on behalf of our friends in Hail the Cats, and we're really thankful that they are letting us stream their battle. Pretty pumped about that. Matt is asking if I'd like to stream his Ark of Osiris. 90 million power versus 90 million power. That's pretty wild. Their fight's in about 7 hours. You know, I don't think I'm going to be able to stream any other Ark of Osiris battles this weekend, but I will say that moving forward, I'm probably going to have some sort of form where people can send me, like, here's the kingdom, the time, the point of contact, and I can have it like in a spreadsheet or something. That way I can keep track and go to a bunch of kingdoms and stream these things. Because, like, look, I have a lot of fun doing it. I really learn a lot the more that I watch and the more that I play. So pretty pumped about that. We've got 91 people watching this battle. I'm told 24 people have joined in so far. And what would I expect to see at the start of this battle? And if you're listening, Hail of the Cats, here's what I would be doing is I would make sure that you've got someone going to all three of the outposts that I've got on the map now. And T1 cavalry should be making their way over to each of these obelisks with the speediest units you possibly have. With the speediest units you possibly have. Hail the Cats versus who? I couldn't tell you yet. We will only know once the timer has ticked down to 0, and at that point we'll click in and open up this little menu at the top. You can see I tried to click it and it zoomed me in instead. Then we'll know kind of who they're up against. And at the start of this battle, I really want to see them fan out across the map. I want to see them then start to posture by the Shrine of War, Sky Altar, and Shrine of Life and Desert Altar so that they can immediately capture those objectives. Those become available 5 minutes into the battle. And so the second those are open, you want to grab them. And it does take a long time to walk over to those. It does take a very long time to walk over to those. Now, if we get a peek over to the other side of the battlefield, you can't really see anything just yet, but as soon as the battle starts, we'll have a sense of what exactly they're up against. So I'm going to keep my view over here, and we are off in 3, 2, 1. The action begins. Let's see now if I zoom in. Here we go. Pulling into the scoreboard here, it's 25 versus 19, Ghost Protocol on the other side of the board. Feeling pretty good about the odds for Hail the Cats if they've got this kind of a numbers advantage. And folks are definitely already springing into action. It looks like they know they're going to the obelisk. They're going to their first outpost. They're going to the second outpost. All 3 outposts are not covered, though. 1 outpost open, and it looks like the obelisk is also going to be visited. Some aggressive play, though, on the part of Hail the Cats. It looks like they're going to be moving forward to the enemy obelisk, and given the 6-player differential here, I think that's a really smart strategy, pulling over to the blue side of the map. Oh, a little aggression from red as well. Okay, left side is going to be an interesting battlefield. Bunch of folks going to the obelisk, to the first outpost, to the forward outpost, and to the rear right outpost, as well as to the right obelisk. And some folks headed over to camels. Look, you can score an unbelievable number of points gathering from these caravans. It's something like 20% of your score if you're doing it right. So gather from the caravan. Definitely do that. And they are certainly springing into action over here. Now, it's worth mentioning that 3 minutes after you capture one of these obelisks, as long as all of your units are either back in town or in a structure, and I believe at that time, one of the only structures that will be available is the obelisk itself, then you can teleport into this area around the obelisk, and you can see it's got kind of a white ring around what that teleport area is. And it's worth calling attention to the fact that you don't have to have your whole city inside of that area, as far as I can tell. When I played yesterday, it seemed like I was able to teleport with my city kind of half in, half out of the circle. So there's a lot of flexibility to being able to teleport there. And let's get a look here. What do we have? We've got T1 Cavalry with its out lead. That looks pretty darn speedy. They're going to be grabbing that. And Red has actually grabbed the first objective of the game with their near outpost of Set. Taking a look back over here, how close are we to this obelisk? Not anywhere near it. The slowest army, or the biggest army, fastest army? I know what I'm trying to say. Looks like it's a proper army rather than a speedy army. And, I really do think the T1 Cavalry is the slam dunk, hands down play. I personally keep 1 T1 Cavalry for this purpose, and I made it my 5th preset army so that at the start of the battle I could, boom, fire off and get one of those obelisks, and I was the fastest player by a long shot. By a long shot. Luis E. asking if I'm going to spectate Kingdom 95 again. Probably not. Wesley A. saying, glad I didn't stream Public Enemy #1 yesterday. Our opponent was a no-show. Wow, I can't imagine no-showing. This is the most fun event in the game, in my opinion. What a bummer for them. Luisi, you have a chance to get Richard and Yi Sung Ye in golden chests at old servers. That is true. It's got to be less than Kingdom, I think 31, or maybe, I think it is 31. Okay, and the objectives have been captured, or at least the capture initiated for all 5 on part of Hail the Cats, and on the red side of the map, they're still crawling their way over to this obelisk. I don't even see the armies. It looks like it's a solid 2 minutes away, which is going to be really punishing. They're going to have fewer teleports to charge forward, and if I were on the blue side, I would really push aggressively forward to their Shrine of Life and their Desert Altar, because they are far, far behind, 2 minutes behind to be exact. Product is saying, hey, Chisgule, what would be the best epic pairing for Cao Cao? It depends on what you're trying to do. I really like buy bars for speediness, but then I also really like Pelagius for big beats and rage generation and healing. Pelagius is like Boudica, but for cavalry specifically. Like Boudica, but for cavalry specifically. All right, now I don't expect to see first blood for another 5 minutes or so. So this first part of the match is really all about jockeying for position. It's all about jockeying for position. Cryptic Gamer asking if I know their strategy. I know the strategy of neither side in this Ark of Osiris battle. We're going to call it as we see it, and we're going to call what I think they should be doing. What I do really like about what the red side is doing is they are aggressively pulling around, fanning out to farm all of the caravans around their base, and the structures are now unshielded. That means the Shrines of War and these altars are open for capture, and what I really would have loved to have seen is if they were already forward postured by those structures to snap cap them. That is not the case here, and that means that lost points for both sides here. Lost opportunity to be getting free points. So now, let's see. Hail the Cats has successfully captured an obelisk. I'm pretty sure that means we're going to see them teleport forward to this position momentarily. And for those of you who are newer to the Ark of Osiris, you can see here it's green to show that it can be teleported to. And that's exactly what they're doing, porting forward. Heyo 9108 and Randy teleporting in. And, you know, I want to call attention to the fact that if you want to teleport, you got to tap that little arrow in the upper left by your buffs. That's where you find the teleport within Ark of Osiris. And now blue has captured a number, or at least initiated capture, on a number of those structures that are absolutely critical. The Sky Altar for the points, offering a solid 750 on first occupation and 150 per minute for continuous occupation, which is pretty amazing. Grants a bunch of individual score as well for making that capture. And the Shrine of War, which offers fewer points, but is a solid 10% of buffs, 5% troop attack and 5% troop defense. Very, very strong positioning around the map here on the part of Hail the Cats, and red is still trying to figure out what they want to do. That said, it is now 26 for blue and 25 players for red, so this is going to even up really, really quickly, and we're going to have a fair fight here. We're going to have a fair fight. Rough start for red, but a fair fight. Now, blue has very smartly forward captured the Desert Altar that should belong to the red team. So that is a ton of points for this first occupation. I don't know if those points, in fact, I do know. Those points will be scored, it looks like, when they actually complete that countdown. There's 2 minutes and 27 seconds left. So red really should push aggressively to force them out of this position so that they don't get those 750 solid points, which really should belong to the red squad. Now, this is where the combat should be happening at this moment in time. There's really nothing to do in the center of the map, so there's a full 5 minutes that until the Ark of Osiris can be captured, and while it is good to posture by the Ark of Osiris, there's really no value to being there right now when their Desert Altar is in the hands of the enemy. Legend Ronnie showing up, celebrity in the house. What's going on, Legend Ronnie? I enjoy Ronnie's content. If you aren't subscribed to him, you should check out his channel. 100% worth, and I think we might have some first blood by this Desert Altar. Attack going in onto it. Cao Cao is the defender, Minamoto attacking, and I wonder if this player, Shifu, already has troops within the altar. If not, they're making a big mistake by being outside of the altar and attacking separately. Oh my goodness, Red Squad is looking like they're going to take this back. And if they've got reinforcements along the way, which they do, and Blue does as well, we've got ourselves a real fight here. And man, let's see. It was that. Oh, it was Shifu in the altar, so that's why his second army was attacking from the outside. So pretty smart play on his part. Not a whole heck of a lot he could have done there. And Red, if they get into this desert altar, it's really theirs to keep. These three blue armies do not look particularly large. It does not look particularly large, and we're looking at a fairly even map in terms of positioning. Now, both sides own the objectives that they should own. A little bit of a slowdown here on the part of the red squad, though. They were 2 minutes delayed, maybe more, in capturing this obelisk, and now they very likely are going to start to port forward. So they are a bit behind on their map position from where they could be, and only 3 people have teleported to this right side. I would expect to see more soon. Now, at this point, it's a good position, or it's a good time to position by the altar because we've got about 3 minutes till that happens. If I was in red, I wouldn't surround the altar like they're doing now. I would push forward to make a front along this line over here because look, they're not doing anything by being near the altar. Why not prevent them from getting anywhere near it? Then you could have one carrier back by the altar who can run freely, and these armies will have to come all the way down through multiple armies in order to actually make it to the carrier. So we're about to see some combat over here. I expect to see some rallies going around. And Mikel, thanks for the $2 donation. Assembly Charge 2 broken in-game. Shout out to K73. Assembly Charge, I believe, is the Alliance technology that makes it so that your rally marches faster. And I'm not aware of it being broken. In fact, it should work within the Ark of Osiris. It should work within the Ark of Osiris. All right. We've got some combat here with Scipio and a Herman army. I'll be honest, I think Herman is pretty underrated. The mobility on the part of archers is exactly what you want in an open field army. And I will add that if you chain silences with El Cid, you could lock out an enemy from making any special attacks for a full 3 seconds, which I think is incredibly strong. Rock full rage restoration, and you are looking at a silence chain that is really, really fierce. Jam Vincent, what's going on? Thanks for being in the chat. All right. All right. Martel and Joan, do they make a good pair? I think they are a fine pair. I wouldn't go out of my way to pair those two. Edward saying this live stream is too much, both Chisgule and Ronnie. Yes, at some point, perhaps Ronnie and I should do a collaboration. I don't know around what, but I think it'd be a lot of fun. And Hail the Cats is trying to jockey for position around this temple. The temple is going to be one of the most important objectives because the Ark of Osiris is going to spawn, but we've got combat. Okay, combat just finished over here. There's some combat over here. Looks like a swarm attack possibly going in on the Shrine of Life, but I fully expect that Blue will be able to defend against this because they've got the numbers. And if all of these armies are outside of this structure right now, to me that says there must already be a lot of armies already in the structure defending it. Otherwise, they really should just jump in there and force them to attack into superior numbers. We've also got a swarm attack going on at the desert altar with a CPO defending. Let's see, can I show you how many troops are in there? I cannot. So it looks like it must be a large number, though, because the armies attacking here are melting. And let's go back to the center where this important combat seems to have already resolved. Hail the Cats, with a number of smaller looking armies, has managed to claim this position, and I don't see them actually claiming the Ark of Osiris yet, but given this setup, they probably should be. Now, if I were in the position of Hail the Cats, what I think would be optimal play is that every army that is not grabbing the Ark should move forward to form a line over here, preventing Red from getting anywhere near their carrier. That said, it looks like they have picked up the Ark and are now starting to move it into a safe position. We've got some combat going on over here, but that has just concluded. Looks like a swarm attack going into the desert altar, or maybe even just a solo attack that did not pan out. And how do I know where the combat is happening, by the way? The buildings will flash in the map in the upper right when there is a combat taking place in one of those buildings. All right. Pardon me, a little bit of allergies this morning. Okay. We are back in action, and this is a relatively calm moment, which to me signals that perhaps some rallies are on their way in. Perhaps some rallies are on their way in. I liked that this player was hiding in the caravan, but now they're sort of caught in the open field. And I'll point out that one of the disadvantages of a CPO army is that CPO does not have a lot of movement speed. He's not going anywhere fast anytime soon, which means if he gets caught out of position, he's really in trouble. Now, a CPO army is kind of designed to be caught out of position. That's what all the skills are there for. And it looks like he's challenging this player to single combat, which I think makes a lot of sense. He would rather do that than, be near the altar and potentially have those players come out and attack as well. And it's also a good play because it looks like he's got some friends to come and help him. Now, it's not going particularly well in this combat for him, but his friends are here, and that intimidation factor was enough to make them move away. It looks like this objective just got routed. Blue squad, Hail the Cats pushing forward, and a whole bunch of objectives changing hands. The Desert Altar, which should belong to Hail the Cats, now in the hands of JXM, the color in red. And we may see an attack onto this carrier. The carrier moves 50% slower and takes 200% more damage, so I think it is smart play on the half of Omachi and Omachi's other character and Mina King to try to cut this player off. He's got a long way to go. He's really crawling his way over to that objective, and I don't think he can make it in time. I think that we'll be able to cut him off, and unless this player here, Shifu, is able to support and slow this guy down and beat the army, I think that even if this army suicides into the carrier, they'll take out this carrier. They'll take out the carrier, and that's all they need to do right now. Stop the movement of the Ark while their other forces can start to accumulate, and I think that's smart play. I think that's really smart play. So we see exactly that happening now. Cao Cao attacking into the Minamoto army. Slow will go in from Cao Cao momentarily, but it's going to be too little too late. There's the march speed down, but he's already arrived. And now you're going to see this army melt potentially. Yeah, there it is. There's the melting. Huge damage going into that Sun Tzu army. 200% extra damage is untenable, and they cannot sustain it. They cannot sustain it, which means we've got now an open field fight around the Ark of Osiris on the blue side of the field. And now it's just going to turn into an interesting open field brawl. I'll say that often in combat that I've experienced in the kingdom, area of attack, big AoE damage effects have been less useful, but I'll say in Ark of Osiris, there are tons of situations where it'd be incredibly valuable. And a mistake that I think is being made here is that folks are trying to pick up the Ark of Osiris. The second you pick that up, you're all but dead. You are all but dead. So the only time you want to pick up the Ark of Osiris is after the area is secure, after you've got a really good handle on the whole situation. And, if the enemy is trying to pick the darn thing up, let them and then kill the carrier. Enjoy your free kill of those armies and getting a ton of points for basically free. That said, it looks like both sides are trying to pick this thing up. Not sure who's going to get there first, but more reinforcements coming for Hail the Cats. Okay, so let's watch this army. They've picked up the Ark of Osiris, and look at the melting. Look at the melting. They just took, I don't know how many troops they had, 150,000, and said, here, free points for you. Enjoy. Oopsies. Well, this is the second Ark of Osiris for most folks, and for some, they're playing it for the very first time. So we'll give folks some slack. Maybe they don't know that grabbing this Ark makes you insanely vulnerable to basically just getting melted. Free points for the other team. So while this skirmish is happening, it looks like something really awesome is going on downfield. It looks like Blue has very aggressively taken the obelisk belonging to JXM in red. And think there must have been a rally. There's enough folks in here that these individual attacks don't seem to be making a dent. And if they hold this arc or this obelisk for another 2 minutes, that means that they'll be able to teleport right next to it. And I would expect that they will teleport all into this area and then start to make big attacks on the player cities that are nearby, opportunistically going for the weakest ones. Um, Maybe you scout first and decide if you're going to hit Jess, Reincarnated, or Demigod. Meanwhile, going back to the Ark of Osiris, it looks like Red has managed to pick up the Ark and is crawling their way back toward their side of the map, and they've got enough support with no blue armies nearby at all to contest it. And so this Ark is moving down the field. Why does this Ark particularly matter? Because right now, the score. Oh, hey, wait a minute. I'll talk about that in a second. We've got a rally going into the obelisk on the left-hand side. This is the obelisk that, they took a while to actually capture. This player who just teleported over really needs to get their troops in to the obelisk, assuming they aren't already. There it is. Big reinforcement going into the obelisk at a really crucial moment. Super charging that defending army, but I don't know that it's going to be enough. And Hail the Cats might just take both the obelisks belonging to JXM, which would be a pretty power play in the Ark of Osiris. Only after a small number of minutes, they'll then be able to teleport forward, and it looks like there's a lot of nice space open to teleport right next to the darn thing. A bunch of armies going in to try to hit the rally, but it's going to be too little too late. They're going to have to swarm attack that same army now in the obelisk without the benefit of the obelisk taking all of the skill damage. So I think if they were going to do that swarm, they needed to do it a little bit sooner, and now perhaps they're going to try to launch a rally. Meanwhile, action going on outside of the obelisk, which is going to be converting in only 5 seconds from now. I would hope that players knew that that conversion was going to happen, and they are ready to instantly teleport in. And that is exactly what's happening. Behemoth teleported over. Hopefully, a few more of his friends will make it over. And these armies in blue, even if they've already got an army stationed in the obelisk, can now reinforce one of these player cities as another safe haven when they're being attacked in the open field in a manner that is not optimal. And it looks like in individual combat, Hail the Cats was able to take another objective back. More combat off to the side against this Shrine of War, a weakened Cao Cao, attempting to take down a Scipio. I don't know how that's going to go, but combat going on over here as well. Mini swarm attack going into a Sky Altar, and perhaps they're deciding they want to go somewhere else. A lot of combat going on. I'm eager to see what happens over here. Another player, Hahu, has teleported in to the obelisk on the right-hand side, and in my opinion, they really should start melting these cities. All right, I'm going to look up here and actually get a peek into the chat. Chat, how's it going? What do you think of this commentary? Legend Ronnie saying, I think I just created a new strategy. Seems like in every war, people are taking obelisks with rally and then ninja teleport in enemy camps. Yes. Oh, now bold move on the part of the players in red saying, hey, this is my land. You get out of here. This city is going to burn, and it's not going to have to burn for very long before it gets teleported back to their side of the map. Very smart play on behalf of Reincarnated, and they're properly zeroing this city. Hahu perhaps caught off guard, and hey, look, just because you don't have the obelisk doesn't mean you can, you have to be passive towards these players that are teleporting in. They're being aggressive, and I like that play. More reinforcements going into the obelisk, and that's only going to be harder and harder to deal with, but a crucial obelisk moving down the map over here. Oh, no. It's actually not moving down the map. It's locked down. It's on the ground. But red very comfortably dominating this part of the map, and when they take this back to one of their objectives, this game evens up from a points perspective. That said, from a map positioning perspective, blue is very, very well positioned, owning both of the enemy obelisks momentarily, which is going to be really tough for them to deal with. Cryptic Gamer commenting on the pronunciation of Scipio. It might actually be Scipio. I watched a uh, history video explaining that once the C was a hard sound, so it's Scipio as you're describing. It was also, instead of Caesar, it might have been Kaiser. Anyways, pronunciation is kind of interesting. I might do a mini series on that at some point. But in the meantime, they're trying to swarm attack this obelisk, and I think that a swarm attack at this point is really ill-advised. When would a swarm attack have made a lot of sense? Before Blue had actually captured it, it would have made a lot of sense to try a swarm attack. Now that they can teleport over and reinforce it, I don't think a swarm attack makes sense. They should have just rallied it and used those 3 minutes that it took for them to convert this thing to actually get that rally going. Now, in the meantime, this altar is looking like it's going to safely make it over to the Shrine of War, which is a big, big deal for the players in red. It's going to keep them in this game, but it's not going to get them into the lead. Clint Jacobs asking if I want to hear a joke. Let me tell you, Clint Jacobs sends me a joke every single day in my inbox, and they're usually funny, hilarious, and very corny in just the right way. Anyways, Marion saying that he loves Legend Ronnie and me. Thank you very much for the positive feedback for us both. And I'm surprised, but the swarm attack did work. It comes at a high cost, but they've sent these blue players back to their home cities, and they've captured their obelisk back. But in the meantime, it looks like the one player that was zeroed earlier was teleported away, and they're zeroing more cities. I like this play a lot on the part of red. You want to come in? Then you're going to have to deal with the swarm attack, and there's a lot going on this screen right now. Holy moly. 3 cities being attacked, 1 red, 2 blue, multiple swarms in on the action. I mean, slash popcorn. This is exactly the kind of thing. This is exactly the kind of entertainment that makes Ark of Osiris so fun to watch. More armies going out from a City Hall 25 million power player on the part of Blue. I believe that is possibly the strongest player in the battlefield, bringing Caesar and Joan of Arc. Going to give everybody nearby some sweet buffs. Going to try to defend this city, and, I think it's good to be attacking from outside the city rather than getting in it in this instance. Although I don't know, I want to think about that more. I may refine that statement. Another player from Blue teleporting in. Swarm attack going in on the obelisk. Guys in Blue, hail the cats. You've got to defend that obelisk or you are about to lose it. You are about to lose that obelisk. What I'd love to see is the player with 25 million power getting into the obelisk, assuming that they aren't already, and making them the captain. It does look like they just switched the captain to a player who's using Lohar, which is not a great choice to have as the captain of your garrison. Lohar has almost no skills that are relevant to that combat, and it looks like they are going to get melted down, possibly before the reinforcements arrive. There it is. Red takes control of the obelisk. They'd better move into it quickly, and now Blue is going to have to make that really non-optimal swarm attack to try to take it back right now, or they need to launch a rally. This blue player, unfortunately, teleporting away because their city was burning. Maybe they needed to have that blue player reinforce their city rather than attack from the outside. Oh my goodness, I can't even keep up with all of the action that is going on around this obelisk right now. Blue trying to swarm attack at their power player, at least as far as I can tell, swarming it along with several others, Cleocatra and Sheeta. But Cleocatra's city is getting zeroed. Smart play on the part of red. If you've already got an army in the obelisk, why not zero the city of the player who's trying to attack the obelisk? More folks moving in to try to swarm the obelisk, and you can see why a rally would have been a whole heck of a lot more effective than a swarm attack in this instance. Big damage being taken on the part of the players. Wait, what just happened? Oh, it looks like they took it. I mistook this guy's health over here for the health of the obelisk. I was not seeing that correctly. They were successful. The swarm attack was successful. They've still got 3 minutes before they can take it, but this city's going to burn and get teleported away, and pretty soon it's just going to be 2 cities left over here. So what I would expect Hail the Cats to be doing at this point to try to press their advantage is to control the center and to move the Ark of Osiris. We've once again got Lohar as the captain, which I'm not in love with. And there's not really a way for blue to reinforce this obelisk. A swarm attack now from red will definitely do the job to take the obelisk. And these guys are going to be in a pretty vulnerable position if more support doesn't teleport over. Now, I'm not sure how many teleports they have remaining. It looks like it's 4 on the part of the blue side and 2 on the part of the red side, assuming I'm interpreting that correctly at the top of the map here by the scoreboard. More action going on, and I'm mesmerized by what's happening in this part of the battlefield. But that said, I imagine that other folks are mesmerized as well, which means this might be an opportunistic time to hit the Shrine of War over here. This might be an opportunistic time to hit the Shrine of Life over here. This is the time to press on other parts of the map because people are going to be tunnel visioning, just like we are, on where this action is by the other obelisk. And it is fun to watch, I'm not going to lie. It is fun to watch. Now, there is, looks like buy-bars on the battlefield. See tornadoes going all over the place. What happened over here? Okay, there are still red cities. I just don't see them on my map. That's fine. That's fine. Let's zip back over here. It looks like blue is kind of hanging on to this position as best they can. But, man, from this position on the map, they're in a really tough spot. They can't exactly be farming caravans because the folks that they send to farm caravans are going to get killed. They've got to just attack in the open field as opportunistically as they can, and I suppose reinforce each other's cities because they could pretty easily get zeroed. Although it does look like another blue player teleported in. I don't know if I just missed that earlier. It was probably in plain view and I just missed it. 3 blue players that are here now. And this is still anybody's match. It's still anybody's match. Hail the Cats has a very, very solid lead, but with 26 minutes to go, I mean, this could go either way. An obelisk has been occupied. Folks can teleport. Now, which obelisk is that? Maybe it's the bottom left. Maybe it was the bottom left. Either way, solid defense are sitting in that obelisk now, and I'm eager to see what these 3 players in blue ultimately decide they want to do. Where is Porgs, Kit Kat, Nips, and Sheeta? Where are they going to go? It looks like reinforcements are coming to Sheeta, which to me might indicate that Sheeta's trying to launch a rally attack. Sheeta might be trying to launch a rally attack. In the meantime, we've got combat at the Shrine of War. Single combat from Cao Cao going into Escipio. Looks like the support from Red might not be enough, surprisingly. Smartly, they are making their way into the objective to defend it now. I wonder if this thing is going to convert. I don't see action going on anywhere else on the map at the moment, so we're going to hang out here and get a look at the chat. I know that I'm missing a lot of the chat, and there's just so darn much going on in this battle right now. Holy moly. All right, my thoughts on Cao Cao and Osman. Who to rock? Primary if they're good. I would probably use Osman. He's got the skill tree, which I think is really... Does he have the skill tree? I think he does. Skill and conquering. Skill and conquering, right? So I think you want the skill tree to power out your attacks as fast as you possibly can. I think that's probably the way to go. You could use Cao Cao and use the cavalry tree. I think that would also be pretty good. Okay. Chisgule, is Daddy Warbucks still in my alliance? You know, he's not in my alliance. He was one of the founding members of this alliance. Oh, hey, there it is. The attack was successful. The attack here was successful. Let's see if there's something going on over here. Multiple armies coming into here. It looks like they are attempting to zero this player's city, and we've got some open field combat. Sheeta's rocking the combination of Boudica with other armies, and hey, support coming in from the red side. I know that the blue alliance is called Hail the Cats, but it looks like this guy's got a little cat meme going on for his icon. Oh, hey, and Catnip's teleporting away. I wonder if their city was burned. In the meantime, Blue said, you're going to burn one of our cities? We'll burn one of your cities. Attack going in, and it looks like Lohar is defending. I really don't like Lohar defending here. And, man, swarm attack possibly going in to the obelisk. Is it still defended? It is still defended. There is an army in there. I thought maybe they had scouted it and saw it was vulnerable. And blow for blow here. Porg attacked a red city. Now red cities are attacking Porg city. I don't know why Lohar's the garrison captain, but it is what it is. Sheeta's attack into the obelisk getting repulsed, and Sita's other army getting caught somewhat out of position here. But, I don't know, man. He seems to be holding his own against these three armies that are trying to attack him. And if he's got a powered-up Cao Cao, which, like, look, you can buy your way into a powered-up Cao Cao, yeah, then you could do a lot of work in this situation. And that is exactly what's happening. 3-on-1. Sheeta has turned that fight around and has now sent his other army to support it. Meanwhile, a lot of activity going on near this Shrine of War, and the Ark of Osiris is in an interesting position. I don't know what to make of this. The carrier is scrambling to figure out where the heck to go. I think they're going to get run down by Shifu, who we know has got the right commander in place to do that. Cavalry is going to slow the march speed. Wait a minute. Where's he going? There it is. There's the attack. This carrier, I think, is going to get stopped, and when that happens, I think we really need Black to turn around to try to help here. He's basically, if I were him, I would just try to run in circles, run away from the enemy, wait until they pick up the Ark of Osiris, and then attack the carrier. Try to get some amount of value that way. The thing that is keeping red in this game is the fact that they've captured the Ark once, and it looks like they're going to capture this thing again. They're not in a great position, but it's not an... Oh. Well, I was going to say the game's not over, but this would not be good. This would not be good for our friends in red. Swarm attack here, doing work, and a whole bunch of armies sent scurrying back to their cities. Hail the Cats taking this obelisk, and if we take a look at the scoreboard here, it's now 26 players to 27 favoring Ghost Protocol. So this match started out with Hail the Cats being up some number of players, and now Ghost Protocol in the lead in terms of players, but not on the scoreboard. Not on the scoreboard as they crawl that Ark of Osiris back to, gosh, they're going to an obelisk? I don't know if they realize that they should just take that thing to their outpost over here. Blue certainly sees that that's where they're going. Something is coming to this outpost. Maybe it's scouts. Anyways, this army is going to get caught out of position. And there's not a lot of support. These guys really need to aggressively push in here. This guy's now changed his mind. He's going to the outpost of Set, but he's cut off by Ice Bear. Oh, yeah. He has got nowhere to go. He's changing positions again. He is Dunsky, and this is a situation where I love CPO, but what's CPO going to do? CPO doesn't have march speed. He can't catch Minamoto. Oh, yeah. Blue very deftly maneuvering to isolate this individual, and they are going to get melted now. This means we've got a really interesting open field brawl. If this gets in the hands of Hail the Cats and they score it, then it's going to be it's definitely going to be the nail in the coffin, in my opinion, cementing this match in favor of Blue. If red can capture this and make some moves on the map, then they'll stay in this game. Now we smartly see a lot of open field combat going on. Nobody's actually trying to take the Ark. I think? Oh, no. This full march of cavalry is... Okay, good. They changed their mind. I thought they were going to take the Ark, and it's like, well, Rip 200,000 troops. Nice knowing you. Could have made the difference in the battle. And it looks like they did realize that they needed to make the difference in this battle, because I can't tell who's going to win this. You can see here a lot of situations where AoE damage effects will be really nuts, and I can start to understand why it is that recently Yi Seong-Ye's damage was lowered, because look, if he was doing damage factor 1,700 to 5 of these armies that were stacked up, I mean, it's just out of control. It's actually just out of control. 1,400 is a good bit more reasonable. Legend Ronnie is saying he's going to be streaming, it sounds like, later today. After my live stream, he recorded TGS versus SOS, and he's uploading it later on. Right on. Man, all of the armies that were here got pretty well melted. Only a few remain. This is like the tiny number of troops, and in this situation, you really do kind of want to be the CPO. CPO is designed to be hit by multiple armies. He's going to start healing as well, and you can see that happening. This is pretty interesting. This is the open field combat that CPO was meant to do, but enough armies coming in from Hail the Cats that, we've got a really contentious open field brawl, and Red has taken one of the objectives, I believe it's the Shrine of Life, from Blue. This is exactly what they need to do, is start to claim some of those objectives back and then take this Ark of Osiris back to their side of the map. It looks like, oh no, one of these players has picked up the Ark of Osiris, which means we're going to see them get melted in a second. There it is. Moral of the story, don't pick up the Ark of Osiris unless you are really in the clear to bring it somewhere. All right, folks, if you've got questions, I have a moment to look up in the chat and answer those. Meanwhile, I am frantically trying to cover all of the action in the battlefield. This Ark of Osiris is still anybody's to claim. We've got some armies from JXM and Red in the area. We've got some armies from Blue in the area. Hard to say who is going to be the victor here. I think at this point, Blue has got a really solid lead. They've still got this obelisk, but this city by Porg is going to get ported back momentarily because it's burning. And now we've got a rally attack going in onto this obelisk. That said, the appropriate player is now defending it. We've got a Caesar, and I can only assume it belongs to Sheeta, who is the power player on behalf of Hail the Cats. Yep, I called that. Porg City now teleporting away because it had burned. Sheeta trying to distract them in the open field rather than having them all hit the obelisk at the same time, which I think is a really good play. And something they're doing now that I think is really smart is they've moved their cavalry back in order to get a joint attack with their Hannibal Barca army in on this enemy. Look, folks, the name of the game is not to stand there and just slug it out without thinking about your positioning. The name of the game is to position correctly, and that is exactly what Sheeta did there to create a more favorable situation. Taking a look over here, I think that Red might be able to capture this outpost, which would be really, really crucial. I don't know at what point they lost it. It must have been recent, and this is going to be a very close fight with, of all things, Alohar defending. Of all thing, Alohar defending. Oops. Accidentally closed my iPad. That's a little embarrassing. Okay. Looking in the chat, it looks like Star Blessings is preparing a new jumper group. If that's something you're interested in, check out the link in the chat. Yannick is saying he needs confirmation. Once the obelisk is captured, you can TP with troops inside the obelisk. Yes, you can. Looks like Red did successfully recapture their objective, and still a huge brawl going on in this open field. I think in the future, we're going to keep a count of the number of armies that die while holding the Ark of Osiris. We're going to keep an Ark carrier kill count. You see, this guy's picked it up. And here comes the melt. 3 armies beating in as soon as those skill attacks go off. He is not going to be there, getting a trip back to town. And I'm really enjoying this open field madness. Hui is saying, feels like Minamoto and Cao Cao still crush his archers. Minamoto and Cao Cao should crush archers. That is because cavalry counters archers. Wesley Carrier, how do you stop a city from burning an ark? I don't know that you can stop a city from burning an ark. Yannick, you're very welcome. You are very welcome. Now, this is a situation where I think Red should be moving the flag because they've got the situation under control. That said, I don't know that bringing this arc back is going to be enough at this point. They really need, at the same time, to have captured some of these additional objectives. It looks like they had a rally that was trying to capture this desert altar, but it's not going to be successful. Now, how do I know it's a rally? You can see the little flag to the left of the player's name, which means it's a rally on behalf of their city. But that said, there's one thing I really want to see. Somebody made their way all the way forward and said, oh, hey, you've defended this very minimally. I'll take your outpost. Thank you very much. And if there were no troops in here, and there may not be very many, they might get another outpost as well. Why is this a very powerful play? Because it stops the enemy from getting points. It stops them in a best case. Let's say they take it back right away. It still means that for 3 minutes they were not scoring points. And the kill count on carriers goes up by 1. I mean, it's at least a dozen at this point. They're going to have to get someone else to bring that thing back to this outpost. And that outpost, by the way, looks like it still needs another 25 seconds to capture. All right, let's see here. Headhunter saying, I'll advise you to give permission to the mods to send links in the chat. That is a thing I will need to go and do. Kiz is saying, anyways, a strong infantry setup like Ronnie has is unbeatable in this game. That's why I chose to go with Rome. Yeah, I think Rome is a good choice for the march speed as well. You did again, saying, hey, Chisgule, you try at Ark, teleport the city with reinforced troops like in the kingdom. Yeah, so I did have... Oh, I think I see what you're saying. So I think you're saying, what if somebody reinforces my war camp and then I teleport with their troops inside my city? I think you can do it, and that sounds very smart. That sounds very, very smart because even the folks that have their cities all the way back and aren't going to be able to teleport, at least they could potentially bring some more troops to the front lines. That's an interesting idea. We've got a swarm attack led almost entirely by Shida with some support from Porg going in on this obelisk, and I think they're going to take it. And I'll say this, if nothing else, Shida has caused enough distraction along with his allies over here that, you know, it really ruined Red's ability to control this whole side of the map. Very powerful play. They're trying to kind of fight them back here, but it's sort of too little too late. Now, what I think is interesting is that if Red had the numbers to attack the obelisk, they could swarm attack it right now because I think there's only a handful of players in blue that are here, and Shida can only have one army in the obelisk at a time. That said, they are now trying to burn some of the cities, which is an interesting play. And let's head over here real quick. Swarm attack from Red on the Shrine of War. I think they're going to be able to take this now, and that is really good for them. But I think the Fat Lady is singing with 10 minutes left in this battle. So we're going to shift our focus to some of the more fun attacks that we see going on. And we're going to try to pay attention very closely to the chat to answer your questions. Zahin is saying how can free-to-play players use a legendary? Their skills are very hard to match. Are we supposed to rush and level up? Definitely do not rush and level up. My advice to you would be to probably use the legendary as a secondary commander and to focus on maxing the first skill before you go any further. A commander like Richard the First is incredibly powerful with just their first skill maxed, and there are other commanders that are really good that way as well. Cao Cao is very strong as a 5/1/1/1. Um, and a part of the reason I'm suggesting you use them as a secondary commander is that, you know, the legendary stars are hard to come by, so you don't have to worry about leveling them up as much, and they are easier to level up, at, let's say, an epic than a legendary. Is JXM from Kingdom 59? Can I see that? I'm not sure. Not sure what kingdom they're from. Wow, blue pretty firmly taking control of this obelisk. Let's see if there's any pressure on this side of the map. Trying to find the combat. I imagine at this point it's been such a slugfest that, folks probably have a lot of severely injured troops. Should free-to-play focus on epics? Yes. I think so. You pick one legendary and very slowly work on them. Kokachi asking if I'm planning to start in a new kingdom. No, I'm not planning to start in a new kingdom. I'm going to be sticking with 51 all the way through KVK. Headhunter saying, actually, in a year, only from Ark of Osiris, you can earn 260 legendary sculptures if you score 10k every time. That is true. That is true. Now, it takes 700 sculptures to max a legendary commander, but, you can make a lot of progress toward the first couple skills with very light spending to no spending at all. Thras is saying, I'm at 1 million, but have made some minor mistakes. Is it worth trying to start anew on a new kingdom? I haven't spent anything yet. Thras, what I would consider doing is finding a jumper group. If you can find a really good jumper group and want to put the time into it, you can get a huge jump start. You can have a really nice community to be playing with if you find the right jumper group. And if you check in the chat up above, it looks like someone was starting a jumper group. I would try to join one. 1 million power is still so early in the early game. And the early game is a lot of fun, by the way. I would do that. Finley, for free to play, is CPO one of the best epics to focus on? I would say Boudica is one of the best epics to focus on. She's very versatile, and the way you get edge as a free to play player is by rocking the barbarians, getting a lot of experience, powering up your commanders more than other players. Headhunter saying versatility, not at all, but mobility is good in Ark and killing farms. Yes, on the topic of killing farms, let's just get a quick look at the map to see how well the caravanning is going. And it looks like very little caravanning is going on at all. So there's an opportunity there to be doing more caravanning. Now, to be fair, this is a very, this is a tier 3 matchup, in my opinion. It's mostly tier 3 troops that are in this battle. So I imagine they don't have a ton of troops to be using. Like, they're bringing siege units to these combats because I think they feel they need them. That said, a small number of siege units can score an unbelievable number of points farming resource nodes. And hey, wait a minute. Well, that's sneaky. Did somebody just waltz over and take this obelisk? I like it. I like it. This player has been really sneaky, going around taking stuff, being really disruptive. That is awesome. That is super awesome. Wee Wee saying, yesterday Legend Ronnie misclicked. Okay, Blue took that back. That makes sense. Legend Ronnie misclicked and spent 7k gems to heal his troops. Oh man, that's so savage. I've done something like that before, but with much lower numbers of gems. Hey, rally in the final minutes of this game. That's going to be fun to watch. We've got Wrangler attacking into Sun Tzu. Wrangler's rocking a Caesar, and reinforcements are coming in. This is a real rally. This is a real rally and rally support. Laganar saying, this is fun. Yeah, man, thanks so much for inviting me. It was your initiative that brought me here to watch this battle, so thank you very much for that. Dejan England saying, I have 9 million power, 115 days played, free to play. Nicely done, my friend. That is enough power to join my alliance. It takes currently 7 million power is what we require. You did again, saying Lohar is the easiest epic commander to level up. Well, easiest epic commander, and I'll say to skill up, and I would agree. Thras is saying the only mistake I would say I made was using tomes of experience and not farming efficiently every day. Even if you didn't make any mistakes, Thras, the advantage you get by being with a very powerful group is very, 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 very strong. Now, if you're not, if that doesn't sound fun to you, don't do it. But I think, a fresh start is a lot of fun. Kiz is saying that Dijon England has been playing 99 days and he's now 17 million power. Wow. Very impressive. Very impressive. You did again, saying as a free-to-play, you must focus all gathering to level 37 as fast as you can and gather resources. It's so easy. I would agree with you, my friend. Check out my playlists. Definitely check out my playlists on gathering to totally dominate your kingdom. I'm number 1 in my kingdom for gathering, and I did not start out that way. I was a serious noob at the start of my kingdom. Crucial reinforcements arriving to this Shrine of Life. I don't know why this player is leaving. They should stay. Crucial reinforcements arriving. This rally is going to be beaten unless some reinforcements arrive here really, really soon. Really, really soon. All right, let's see if we can find some other combat in a moment. Zahin saying he rushed Cao Cao to 40. I think I did big mistakes, but can't blame me because I got him when I was City Hall 10. Yeah, that's really tough, my friend. That's really tough because you're going to find that epics are going to be better than a Cao Cao in that situation. Looks like Red Squad has grabbed the Ark of Osiris, but is going to get totally melted in this open field. Kokachi saying 7,000 gems worthy for Pledge of Thrones gold. I'm not sure I know what that is. Finley, I'm free to play and I've got 3 111 Cao Cao. Should I consider investing in Minamoto sculptures for cavalry? 3 111 is not amazing. It really would have been better if you got 5 111. That said, Minamoto is an amazing commander, even if you're not combining with Cao Cao. And in the early game, before you've got expertise epics, I think you will find that your 3 111 Cao Cao is going to be excellent. So I think Minamoto in general is a great commander to invest in. And I would just make sure that if you do pick Minamoto, make sure you max the first skill before you go any further. Okay. Let's see here. Is the Pledge of Thrones, is that, I thought it was something, I thought it had some sort of rosy name. I assume that refers to the event where you invest petals and you power up your petals. Is that what you're talking about? The Valentine's event? Okay. Damon saying 3 best nukers. I mean, at the epic tier, Osman, probably Boudica. Who else at the epic tier? Osman, Boudica, and maybe Sun Tzu for AoE if you're into that. Kuching saying, nice stream, Chisgule. Really appreciated your time and effort bringing this Ark of Osiris. Hey, you know what, my friend? My pleasure. I've really enjoyed doing this. Both sides played very, very well. Both sides, I think, did a great job in this battle. I think the big learning for both of them is going to be to farm more caravans and to be much more careful about when it is that you grab the Ark of Osiris. You did again, says I have 140 million gathering after 104 days. Legend Ronnie telling Dragon Sayer he looks solid, and there it is. Ark of Osiris has concluded. Victory for Hail the Cats. Again, we really appreciate Hail the Cats bringing us to this battle, letting us watch. Let's get a quick look at the stats because I think it's super relevant to take a look at that. Hail the Cats scored 6,000 for their provisions. So even though I just criticized the amount of provision farming that was done, they did as much provision farming as my alliance did. So we both have perhaps more provision farming to be doing. Kill count looking pretty good. Blue Squad really taking advantage of the teleports. You can see they've got more occupations. And, Red did a really good job carrying the Ark 2 Ark captures, none for blue. That said, it came at the cost of the objectives, and I think between the objectives and getting the Ark, getting the objectives would have been more important to do. We've got over 200 players watching now, so maybe we'll jump over to my kingdom in a minute, give a quick update on my account. Before we do, let's get a quick look at some of the more detailed breakdown. Now, just to get a sense of how many players get over 10,000 score to get the max rewards each time, it looks like only 5 players were able to accomplish that from this alliance. So I don't think that's a particularly easy thing to do. And, there's a couple other things that are worth looking at here. The champion of Egypt, let's see here. Ken Drick had a huge occupation score. Man, somebody scored all the objectives. We know that Sheeta was doing work, and Cleopatra also a lot of healing. Pretty cool to see that. All right. Well, my friends, thank you, Hail the Cats, yet again for inviting me to watch your Ark of Osiris. Let's just jump over to my main character, back to my kingdom. And, talk about what's going on there. We'll just get a quick look here. If you've got any questions, now's the time to drop those into the chat. We'll do some quick Q&A before we kind of wrap things up. We'll claim some goodies over here. Bada boom. Right now, things are in a pretty chill place in my kingdom. Devi says, finally caught your live stream, Chis. Well, we're at the very end of it, my friend. We're at the very end of it. By the way, I was mentioning earlier to check out my gathering guides. What qualifies me to give advice about gathering resources? Currently number one in the kingdom. Am I proud of that? Yeah, I am. I'm maybe a little proud of that. Can we rectify Cao Cao from 111? There's really nothing you can do. Canadian Reefer Girl, you stopped answering at my questions. Sorry about that, my friend. Sorry about that. Can I find your question even? There it is. Can you go over basic rules and goals for Ark? My team starts today. Oh man, my guidance to you would be to rewatch the start of this stream and every single stream that I do for Ark of Osiris, because at the beginning I give advice, general advice about how I think you should play the start of the battle. I also, on my channel, have a number of videos that cover basic Ark of Osiris strategy. I would recommend checking those out. I'm just sending out some gatherers, and in a moment, I'm probably going to start leading some rallies, or joining some rallies, doing some basic kingdom maintenance here. I bet I can catch this rally. Let's see if I can catch them. Bada boom. We're going to go join a rally for a T5 fort. Checking back to the questions. What are the best what are the talents for my Charles Martel? I'd be happy to show you. My Charles Martel actually has no talents applied. I just realized that. I'm going to use garrison talents on him soon. I'm going to level him up a little more. Currently, I've got Kusunoki as my garrison captain. And what I would do, if you're interested in open field, I would do a build like this. If you're interested in garrison, I would do a build that's sort of like this, but the equivalent for the defense tree, sort of. I know that's kind of a rough approximation. All right, let's see here. Did we catch the rally? Well, maybe we're not going to catch the rally. Come on, my cavalry are speedy. What's going on here? All right, please, Chisgule, join 1125 and contact us. POW. I'm not going to be able to stream any more Ark of Osiris this weekend, but I'd be happy to get a peek in the future. Zahin saying, who else thinks they should add a skill reset for us who messed up in the beginning? Can you say that to the devs? Skill reset is kind of an interesting idea. How would that work, though? You'd have to do like a level reset too, though. I don't know how that would work. I like what you're thinking with that. I don't know how it would work. Is it good to pair my JC 2324 Julius Caesar with CPO 5555? Yeah, I think that's a great pairing. think that's a great pairing. It's a bummer the first skill is not leveled up more, but I like that the fourth skill, which lets you bring more troops, is pretty high. Kokachi saying, my kingdom has 2 main families and it's just farming, quite boring. Is this the situation of all kingdoms toward the end? Let me tell you, my friend, this is going to be the calmest moment you will have ever in Rise of Civilizations. It is only going to get more exciting, and there's only going to be more things to do moving forward. So I know that it might feel a little bit boring. My recommendation would be to spice things up during the Mighty Governor event. In my kingdom, things got really spicy during Mighty Governor. Our friends in Marvel, we kind of, what would I say? We arrived at a place where we said, you know what? To keep things spicy during Mighty Governor, we're going to make it so you can't attack farmers, but you can attack any army you want that is not on its own territory. So any army that's in a neutral territory, you can fight. And so we had a lot of skirmishes right around here. And it was a lot of fun. It was honestly tremendously fun. It was some of the most fun open field combat I've ever had because you weren't worried about flags getting burned. You weren't worried about deaths. Like, you just got to enjoy open field combat. And that was pretty exciting and fun. Okay, let's see. Next question. Chisgule, Rome or France or Korea for research? I'm 16 million power. It depends on what you want to do. I would say that in the 16 million power range, you really are trying... Oh man, I totally missed this rally. I thought with my speedy cavalry I would be able to catch it. But you know why I didn't catch it? I mean, I did technically get into the rally. You know why I didn't catch it, though? It's because our alliance technology is, like, really good for march speed. Our rally has... Let's see here. So it's got currently 22% march speed, and it's got 15% march speed over here. I mean, that's a fast rally. Our rallies haul. They really haul it down the field. So, at the 16 million power range, you really need to pick a civilization that gets you to the end game. Civilizations that get you to the end game include sort of Germany, because you can train a lot of troops, and action point recovery is really good. Britain is troop training speed, which is pretty good. It's okay, I would say. France, I don't think really gets you to the end game. France is really good. Where is it really good? France is really good in Ark of Osiris because of the troop healing speed, if you do plan to burn healing speed ups. Spain is really good. Production's great. Experience is really good. I think China's fine. Action point recovery and building speed's a good deal. I personally am using Japan to get to the end game because I gather like a madman, so the 5% gathering's a big deal. Turns out Scout March speed is also super relevant in the Ark of Osiris, and 3% troop attack is really kind of amazing, right? It's 3% attack to all of my units, which is 12% of stats across the 4 types of units, which is pretty good. Research speed from Korea is honestly quite exceptional, and the hospital capacity is fine. I probably will swap to Korea at some point when I spend a ton of speed ups. I probably will do that. That's the thing that will probably happen. Arabia is great when you're in the end game. Ottoman is great when you're in the end game. And Byzantium, I think, is like a weird kind of in the middle civilization. It's got the cavalry special unit, which is great. It's got stone gathering speed, which is good, and hospital capacity. I don't love it. I don't love it. So between those choices, I'd be looking at Spain if you're going to farm a lot of barbarians. Spoiler alert, you should be farming a lot of barbarians. Japan, if you're good at resource farming. And if you're going to spend a ton of speed ups, Korea. I otherwise don't love Korea. If you think you're going to be at war and you're going to spend a ton of speed ups on research, then I think it's pretty good. All right, let's go back to my city real quick. Heal up these troops. Maybe join another rally. A Barb Fort 4. Now we'll start a rally in a second. Okay. Venom. Asking Ulji Mundok or Sun Tzu? Ulji Mundok is good if you think you're going to get swarmed. Sun Tzu is also good if you think you're going to get swarmed. Sun Tzu does a lot of damage to multiple targets. Ulji Mundok really snaps back if he's being attacked by multiple targets. Between the two, I really like Ulji Mundok in a lot of ways for the defense reduction. That said, I like Sun Tzu for the rage restoration, so it depends a lot on who you're going to pair him with. Thras is asking best secondary for Scipio, in my opinion, for general field combat. I personally am using Joan of Arc in the Ark of Osiris. I use Minamoto and Cao Cao. I use Charles Martel and Richard I. And then my last army that I use to support rallies and to then support the open field combat that happens after that is Scipio with Joan of Arc. That said, is Joan of Arc the absolute best? Probably not. I would say maybe Scipio with Ulji Mundok is a better play. I like that pairing. I like that pairing a lot. I might have to look at the commanders to give more detailed advice, but that might be where I start. Free flyer. Skill reset could be like 10,000 gems and extract all sculptures out of a commander. I mean, like, here's what a skill reset would have to be. It would have to be a level reset, a skill reset. I mean, it'd have to be a total reset. You get all the experience and experience tomes. You get all the sculptures. You get, and they'll reset to like total 0. That's how that would have to work. And I think that would actually be awesome. And like, honestly, it might be worth. See, the thing is that the players that need it the most is the free-to-play players who don't have the gems and don't have the sculptures to like max it out anyways. So I don't know. I don't know how that would work. How would you hook those players up? I think we need to come up with that. That would be great. Yannick Lee, when you captured a structure in Osiris, is the garrison tree relevant? I don't think it is. I don't think garrison is relevant for a structure defense in Ark of Osiris. Can I show my Scipio? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Here is where we landed with Scipio. This Scipio is designed for open field combat. Open field combat in the Ark of Osiris. Any research in particular? T4? Don't know that I get that question. Ali, can I use Scipio with Sun Tzu? Both max. Sure, you can use them together. The thing that I'll say that's a little weird is that Scipio doesn't really need rage restoration. Why do I say that? His skill lasts for a full 5 seconds. He doesn't really need the rage restoration that Sun Tzu is going to give. That said, there's a lot that Sun Tzu does with him that I like. In particular, I love that you don't have to bring full infantry because this skill only partially influences infantry, and the damage reduction is for all types of troops, which is very, very strong. The other thing that is kind of an anti-synergy here is that like this gives skill damage bonus, but there's no skill damage coming from Scipio. So you can make that pairing, but I don't love it. K95 has those rules for Mighty Governor. That's cool. You did again. Okay, cool. I'll join you at Discord. Nice. Kokachi, do you think free-to-play can start and lead a successful alliance? Sure you can, but I would definitely do a jumper. Estrella, do you see Yi Sung Ye as a good pair for El Cid? Because the second skill of Yi Sung Ye is the best because of regen of rage plus the attack boost. I think they're a fine combination. Archers on archers. Look, here's the thing. People give give El Cid a bad rap, but like movement speed is really good. And by the way, you get 15% movement speed. 15% movement speed. That's a lot of movement speed. That's a lot of movement speed. It's so much movement speed that I think I'm actually going to level up El Cid more before I apply these sculptures. And I've got a lot of sculptures here. I've got a lot of sculptures here that I could put into El Cid. But I'm not going to because I'm going to level them up first. So I think it's a fine pairing. You did again. Some questions. Oh man, a lot of questions. I got to catch up to the chat here. Holy moly, I'm working my way up, guys. Okay, can we do anything about Mina 311? And there's not a lot you can do other than to buy more sculptures and to hope you get lucky. Zahin, so I messed up my Cao Cao and I don't have Richard in the shop and I'm City Hall 19 and 3 million power. Should I restart or stay with this account? Tough to say. If you haven't spent a lot of money and you like the beginning of the game, you have to really like the beginning of the game, and I personally do, then I think a restart's a fine choice. A restart's a fine choice. Go with a jumper group, and you can have a lot of fun doing that. I think that's a ton of fun. We're going to find a level 5 barb fort here, and we're going to get that rally going. We're going to get a level 5. We really need a way to search for barb forts, by the way. Like, that would be really nice. We found 2 on our territory. We'll take the closer one. We'll set a 10-minute rally. I used Cao Cao with Minamoto, and that's because my Minamoto has PvP talents rather than rallying talents. Kokachi, as a free-to-play, would you recommend to gem up VIP? Yes, I think so. Certainly gem up to VIP 6, and then you have to be a kind of a spender to get to VIP 10, but if you are a spender, I think it's worth getting there. Best tree for Julius Caesar on the battlefield, leadership or attack. I've got a video where I cover this in depth. I think leadership is the place to be, and the reason leadership with supplementation in the attack tree, and that is because like Julius Caesar's skills are really good, right? But this talent over here, last stand, makes it so you can't use your active skills while this is active. So you like kind of silence yourself. I don't know. I just don't love it. I don't love it. Yeah, I don't think it's I just don't think that's worth it. I don't think that's worth it. What about Lancelot and Belisarius as a combination for killing gatherers? Great combination. How did you download to PC? I haven't downloaded to PC. I'm playing on my iPad Pro. I hardwire to my PC via USB and then a USB-C converter because I'm using a MacBook Pro. All right. Next question. Legend Ronnie saying they cannot work with stars and EXP boosts from other commanders might generate too much experience. Laginator. I would agree with reset, but only bring back sculptures. EXPs and stars is asking for too much free stuff. Well, here's what I think. Here's what I think is that it should cost a lot of gems, maybe. But I don't love it costing a lot of gems. You see what I'm getting at? I don't know. I think there should be a way to do it. And there should be a way to get your stuff back. But maybe you get a percentage of your stuff back, not all of it. I don't know. We've highlighted an interesting problem, and I bet we can come up with a pretty creative solution. The gaming world saying, Chisgule, few kingdoms didn't get Ark of Osiris because they have a Mighty Governor event. When will they get Ark of Osiris? Huh. I think Mighty Governor and Ark of Osiris can overlap. I don't see why not. Free Flyer. Skill reset would need a cooldown, though. Yeah, look. Oh, yeah, because a big spender could just constantly switch commanders. That's an interesting point. There'd have to be some downside to a skill reset. There'd have to be some downside. Turpin, what do you think about having a way to switch your commander from primary and secondary while you're away from the city? That'd be interesting. It'd be weird for the interface, but I think it's an interesting idea. I don't know how they would do that, but that's the problem for a UX designer to solve. All right, looks like our rally's in a pretty good place. League of Legends Greek Gamer, please read this. Our kingdom is losing to abandon because the previous king that he gave up wanted the fame back again, and 2 days before he burnt like 50 players from the whole kingdom to 0. Man, that sucks that one player can cause so much havoc. The kingdom's got to decide what they want to do about that. People either have to band together or join up with the bully, and I don't love that option. Thras, how about Scipio with Boudica or Osman? I think those are okay pairings. Osman, you really want to generate a ton of rage. So I don't think Scipio really is great with Osman. Scipio and Boudica is fine. I think it's a fine pairing. Probably use Scipio as the primary, bring a mixed army if you do that. Free Flyer, I really wish this existed too, like when you're inside a structure maybe. I hear you on that. Can that movement speed outrun cavalry, says Legend Ronnie. I don't think it outran my cavalry, but I will say what I found really interesting is that looking at the Alliance technology, a max movement speed, a 100% maxed out assembly charge, will not be catchable by a full cavalry army. Will not be catchable by a full cavalry army. If they had another, I don't think I could have caught them if they had another 9 or so percent movement speed, more than 9%. 13% movement speed, I don't think I could have caught them. YSG with Tamo is a solid pair. It's fine, but if you're using YSG, I would assume that by that point you've got an epic that would be better to pair with. Dino is saying there will be no skill reset. It's impossible. We're talking about golden sculptures. Yeah, I know. We can dream though, right? Benjamin Shaw, what's going on? Alex Jr., how strong El Cid will be if they change Archer defense to attack? Um, I think defense is fine. I I don't know. I need to do a video on the stats. Right now, to me, stats are stats. I don't particularly care if it's one or the other as long as I have a lot of them. I know that's not a great mindset, but I'm not particularly trying to min-max the attack on El Cid. Let's see. Kokachi. Search for a barb fort, please. Yeah, I know. That feature would be amazing. Navneet. Do you know any jumper group with whales in it? If you go up in the chat in this video, there was someone saying they were doing a jumper group. I don't know if they've got whales, though. Arabine saying, best way to terrorize farmers, combo please. Use Cao Cao and Bybars. Or Cao Cao and Belisarius, maybe? Let me get a look here. If you use Belisarius, you get a bunch of march speed, and the bonus is march speed. If you use Bybars, you get a bunch of march speed. I mean, I think that would be a pretty good pairing. You could also, at the epic tier, pair Belisarius with Bybars. That'd be pretty gross. Ugh. Benjamin Shaw, I have a 5-3-2-4 Richard. Would a maxed Ulgi or my 4-2-1-2 Martel be the best pairing? I think it's pretty close. I could go either way. I might... Gee, that's tough. That's actually tough. I think if you're going in on the min-max plan of just being really tanky, then Martel is the way to go. That said, Ulgi Mundok is bringing you the defense reduction on the primary target, which is good, the infantry attack and defense, and you're also getting a solid damage bonus if you get swarmed. I mean, both are very good. I might steer you toward Martel, though. Can I show my Cao Cao? Yes, I can. Let's pull up Cao Cao. Bada boom. Expertise skill unlocked, and my talents are as follows. Do I think these are the perfect talents? Probably not, but I am going to make my way up to Rallying Cry over here. And I suppose, you know what? I take it back, Ronnie. I take it back. He could have been caught. That rally could have been caught. I just don't have enough march speed on this guy. I could have another 6 march speed over here, 9 march speed over there, 3 march speed over there. The rally could be caught. I do have a lot of march speed over here, and here, but you could have more. Herman and El Cid chase and outrun most cavalry setups. Interesting. Lots of questions. Can you do a Q&A stream? Yeah, we're sort of doing a Q&A stream now. I think yes, if El Cid will go down to 50% life because of his 4th skill too. Yeah, no, he'd be really hard to catch. Cerber saying, I need advice. I have Richard and Charles Martel. Which one is better to max out first? Go with Richard. My alliance is 2-0 for Ark of Osiris. Hey, congratulations, my friend. Goosey Hep. I have a lot of legendary commander sculptures. I'm free to play about 3 weeks into my server. What should I use my sculptures on? I have Charles Martel, El Cid, and Frederick. Depends on what you want to be doing long-term in this game. If you're a big spender, you go one way. You look at commanders that are really, really good at rallying cities. If you're not a big spender, then I probably would go in a direction for open field, and I would pick commanders that are really good at battling barbarians. Personally, I thought that Cao Cao was a really great choice. League of Legends Greek Gamer, please read this. Our Kingdom. Oh, I covered that one already. We didn't get Ark of Osiris in number 1049. I asked in Discord a few times, and they said it was because of Mighty Governor. Well, then I guess they're going to have it next week for you, I would assume. Zahin, they should make a skill reset a one-time thing. Yeah, maybe. Thras, thanks for the tips, man. Have fun on the rest of your day. Thank you very much. All right, Estrella, is that tech for rallying our troops or for a single march speed. So the single march speed is on your territory, and that's in the territory tree, and that is rapid march and also rapid march 2. That's where, but the other march speed I was showing you before was just for rallies. Rowan, is Lohar and Boudica rage build? What should I build in peacekeeping before or after rage build? All right, there goes the rally. It's got a minute, so I can show you my Lohar, who I don't even use anymore because he doesn't need any experience. If you're doing the rage build, start by getting insight, then get quick study, then make your way over to rejuvenate. From there, I really like elixir and counterattack. Also, loose formation is great. Then trophy hunter for value if you're feeling greedy, killer instinct, and domination. Let's watch the rally. That sounds fun. Legend Roddy, there is a contributors list. Check again. Eno Knocker, I have 9 out of 10 Charles Martel sculptures for 2 weeks now, and I can't seem to get them. Oh man, what a bummer. You'll get it eventually. Benjamin, you're very welcome, my friend. All right, few more questions before we wrap it up here. Patrick, Chis, what do you think? What do you say? Keep saving gold statues for Saladin and invest everything in Richard. Downside might be I have to split my Minamoto Cao Cao combo if I get a maxed Minamoto. So here's what I'll say. We don't know if Saladin will even be allowed to use generic sculptures. I am somewhat afraid that they may make him like Minamoto, where you can only get him from certain events. We'll see. We'll see what they do. I don't. He's supposed to come from Mighty Governor. We don't know when that's going to happen. I'm investing my sculptures rather than saving. What's the best way to deal with bullying alliances? Man, the only thing I can say is to work on your alliance's defensive tactics. You got to catch them when they are attacking in a way that gives them a disadvantage, like attacking a city or a flag, and have better commanders, like proper commanders, better support in order to do well there. Hey, I'm going to have my first Ark of Osiris tonight. Who is the commander I should focus on for maxing out? Epic commander mainly. I really like cavalry. Cavalry, speedy cavalry is the way to go. Legend Ronnie, my Herman is maxed and I'll sit as 5552. Wow, look at you, man. Killing it. But my Max, Minamoto, and Cao Cao with cavalry talents are much better after I got research with 15% max. Oh, March from war. Yeah, wow. Cold Zero, hey, what are the best epic pairs for a mixed army? I really like CPO for the open field. Pair with a commander like Joan of Arc or Boudica, and you're really cooking with gas. Kukachi would love if ROC was playable through the browser. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like the Game of Thrones game that I've played. Yeah, no, that'd be definitely cool. As a hin, the game is boring because more like Clash of Clans, they focused on pay to win, and free to play needs more love. You know, if you are patient, free to play does really well in the long game here. Over time, I've farmed an insane amount of resources, and I also spent a lot of money, but you can get a lot of value. Hey, Chisgule, great work, big fan. Thank you, PM. I'm using Cao Cao and Minamoto Focus. Is it worth preparing Baibars and Sun Tzu with full cavalry to make use of cavalry research? I wonder why you're pairing with Sun Tzu. I think Baibars is really good. Let's get a look here. I think Baibars is really good. Great cavalry commander, doing some AoE. Sun Tzu also does AoE and rage restoration, but I don't know. I guess there is pretty good synergy. I guess you could do Sun Tzu. I feel like you might be better off with potentially Boudica, or you might be better off with Pelagius. Like I would pick another cavalry commander. Okay. By the way, I'm not that far off from being able to max every epic commander. Like I'm not that far off. Like 3 months from now, I will probably have every epic commander maxed out. Like I would guess they're gonna have to release some new commanders sometime soon. What do you think of Sun Tzu and Mehmed as a combo? Yeah, I think it's a fine combo Wait, Sun Tzu and Mehmed. I think it's a fine combo, but Mehmed is really all about attacking cities. If you're not attacking cities, I would kind of look at you funny and say, why are you really investing in Mehmed? You should do Yi Seong-Ye instead. Because Yi Seong-Ye has all the open field stuff, and if you're not attacking cities, you also have garrison stuff. So if you're not attacking cities, I don't know why you're investing in Mehmed. Joy, I played this game before, but someone deleted it from my phone. Oh man, savage. I managed to max my Richard. I did. I'm going to have a video about that coming pretty soon. Is CPO that good? I'm Rome. And how should I use him? Open field is the place to do it. Bring a mixed army. And the build that I use is right here. All right, my friends. I think we're going to head out for now. This was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed doing this with you. If you enjoy Ark of Osiris videos, please do like, subscribe, show some love to the stream. And until next time, my friends, you have fun smashing the kingdom.